It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed in. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, take me higher. You take me higher, baby, take me higher. You take me higher, baby, take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, along with Anna Hart and Tracy Carson. Today's show, we will be discussing the history of Hurricane Katrina, the effects that it had on the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, and what was the outcome after the storm. Also, in the second hour, something that we haven't heard in a long time is, oh, here he is. I wonder where he was. And of course, Theus Robertson. The second hour, we're going to have a Am I the A-hole, in which me and Foxy disagree on the answer to. However, just like I did the last time, I'm not going to tell you who picked what side, so we will stop having people going, oh, I'm automatically going to go what Foxy says. So stay tuned for that. Anywho, Anna, how is everything going tonight?
Everything is going great.
And love that thing in the background. Just like, that is so cool. That's like so cool.
Hanging over my bed. In a pinch it will do. It's the flag. It says together above it, and I really would like it to be. It will one day be up there.
I like it. Theus?
Thank you.
Hey everybody. Ain't nothing going on. Hello.
One of those days.
Nah, there's nothing eventful. Unless you want to hear about me learning how to take a floorboard off of a wall.
Hey, look, I'm taking the carpet off the stairs, and we're going hardwood. Darn near, well, the stairs and upstairs eventually, upstairs hallway.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to be tearing out pretty much all the drywall in my office area,
mm,
like 4 or 5 feet up, and wipe all that out just to make sure I don't have any like mold or something behind the walls. And then I got to get that treated. That means I also got to take apart the bottom set of stairs. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, and I'm not a handyman, so that means I have to keep buying tools.
you,
So
YouTube
whatever.
University.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I think I can't do, or I mean, technically you could, but I don't think it's a good idea, is the mold remediation. So I am going to tear everything out, get it fully exposed, and then hire somebody to do the actual stuff. And then I'll go back and put it all together.
All right. Tracy?
Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. Been a great took 2 naps day, so I'm not gonna be sleeping tonight.
Apparently not. Too
The
down.
NFL is 178 days for it to come back. Yes, I'm counting down. I'm counting down. September the 7th.
Yeah, Foxy. It's true. I used to be like that. Now it's just like, okay. Let's see who's already out there. Mickey's already saying, hey, Marlon, Anna, Theus, and Tracy. Hello, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
Please hit that like button, share with a friend, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you catch up after the live show, leave a comment. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, we are 15 subscriptions away from our first 100. 15. You're watching. That's what irks me. You're watching the show. Just, hey, plunge in there. Yes, yeah, just like what Tracy said, and please subscribe. 15 away. We're right there. We're right there. At the very least, let me get the 100. We see where that go. So, without further ado, let's just get this party started. So I'm not particularly sure if I want to play these videos back to back. I'm going to test the waters with the panel to see if they want to say something after the first one. If they don't, I'm just going to go ahead to the second one. So as everything else, we're talking about the history of the Hurricane Katrina. So like everything else, we'll start from the beginning.
On August 23rd, 2005, a tropical depression formed over the Bahamas, and before long, it transformed into a hurricane named Katrina, with a growing strength and ferocity that began to really worry people. Government leaders across the Gulf states began telling people that they needed to evacuate, and they needed to do it quickly. On August 28th, many people had done so, but for a range of reasons, because of a lack of transportation, cost, illness, mobility, and personal choice, at least 100,000 people did not evacuate and were left stranded. As the storm hit, the weather was rough, but there was hope that, at least in New Orleans, the worst of it had been avoided. But then, the levees around the city and elsewhere across the Gulf region began to fail, and massive flooding began. Over 50 levees and flood walls were breached, and there was more than $100 billion in damage. And this is part of what left so many people frustrated about what happened during Katrina, that the flooding came not simply from the storm, but from the failure of human engineering, a failure that had fatal consequences for thousands and impacted the lives of millions. A June 2007 report by the American Society of Civil Engineers indicated that 2/3 of the flooding was caused by the multiple failures of the city's flood walls.
Okay. So reason I was saying, do anybody have anything to say? Because the second one goes into a question that I had for the longest time. So if anybody don't have anything to say, let's go ahead and move on into the second video, which is a question that I've had, and then I became, just like everybody else back in that time was like, oh, okay, it happened. Okay, it's old news. Let's move on. But at the time I was questioning like, well, what the heck is a levee?
On a basic level, levees are supposed to hold back water so it doesn't flood communities. Levees can be built with materials like soil, sand, or rocks, or with concrete, blocks of wood, plastic, or metal. They can also help pump water away from communities. With a city like New Orleans, where so much of the city is below sea level, levees are essential. And people knew this. In 1965, Congress authorized the Lake Pontchartrain and Vicinity Hurricane Protection Project, following Hurricane Betsy, which was supposed to increase New Orleans' hurricane protection. But this project had not even been completed by the time the storm hit in 2005. During Katrina, many of the communities located at the lowest elevations and near the most unstable parts of the levees ended up bearing the brunt of the flooding. Due to racism that started with historical segregation in the city, those environments were often inhabited by Black and lower-income folks in New Orleans. Housing segregation, racial and restrictive covenants, other types of laws that encourage housing segregation, and other measures had been designed to keep Black Americans from moving into safer, higher elevation areas. And even though many of those measures were illegal by the time Hurricane Katrina happened, the effects still persisted. Thanks, Thought Bubble. So the people who most needed to evacuate, because they lived in the most vulnerable areas to flooding, were often unable to do so. Many of the poorest residents of New Orleans did not have cars, money, or places to stay anywhere outside of New Orleans.
So to put it in perspective, we're talking about a project that was, and I can't even say took 40 years. You wasn't done in 40 years. Let's just make that completely clear. The project started in 1965. By 2005, the project still wasn't done. To pretty much put it in perspective, they was in no hurry to get this taken care of. None at all. For 40 years. And you try to wonder why it is, because they knew who they would, if they would have finished the project, who was going to protect. They weren't going out of their way for that. For 40 years. 40. That means if somebody was born in 1965, by the time Hurricane Katrina hit, they was 40 years old. They was born when the project started, and they was born to see the destruction that it was supposed to prevent, but didn't. So they was well aware of what happened. It's safe to say that if this was an entirely different neighborhood, this project would have took 40 years to complete. But again, they're not in a hurry for us. Go ahead, Theo.
Well, I would just say everything you said. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Was actually to me a little bit worse than that. What we're looking at is something that's basically called benign neglect, right? So it was intentional to not allow poor and people of color to live in certain areas. because when you place value on land, you're placing it on what's most fertile, access to resources, infrastructure, all that, how close you are to highways or main thoroughfares, all that stuff. And that stuff gets more value. If you look at the housing codes and regulations and laws that were in place in the early 1900s through the mid 1900s, there were actual laws that would prevent us from being in the same communities or near the same communities as white people. But we still had to live somewhere. So where do you then steer or flat out tell people to go? You tell them to go to the less valuable land. Well, what's going to be less valuable? It's going to be the land that's below sea level, because it's a coastal area. So if there is a major storm, that is the area that will flood because it's a bowl. So racism put the people in the bowl, but the situation with the levees, I would contend, was not about racism. That part, I would say, would be benign neglect, meaning that not my problem, I don't care. And that's the next level of apathy. See, if someone hates you, they are at least thinking about you. They hate you enough to say you have to live over there. When they don't even care about you, you're already over there and they could care less what happens to you. They're not doing anything against you or anything for you. You don't make enough money to pay good taxes because we've made the infrastructure in such a way that you can't get the jobs. You're not getting the education to qualify to get the jobs, and you don't live in the communities to get access to the transportation. So then, right, it all builds on each other, and you're sitting in the bowl. The levees, well, what does America do anyway? But especially the South, very, very, very slow to invest in infrastructure. America is a reactionary place because everything has to have a profit motive. So there was a storm back then. They started the levee project because of that storm. Didn't have another storm. So now you start buying your time. And when you do have storms, this weak infrastructure was enough, right, to keep it from being terrible. So once again, no energy behind doing anything. And then Katrina hits, and now all of a sudden they put money back into rebuilding the levees and setting up better infrastructure. America doesn't do anything proactive since integration. And that's where I'll put race back into the situation. If you look at American history, very, very, very few major things have happened in our government since the desegregation. We got what? Social Security, I think that came after, but that wasn't for us. We were largely frozen out of the job market. In fact, the industries that we are mostly in, outside of the government jobs that we hold, are in the service industry, which are exempted from some of the Social Security guidelines. So it still wasn't even about us, right? So that's the thing that I would shift people to, because I think it's too easy to say that Katrina happened because America was actively racist. And I'm thinking it's more America was actively racist, which puts you in the position that when this happened, it was worse.
Yeah. Because I could probably see where there was storms between Betsy and Katrina, and it was more or less, the levees were fine then. The levees
we made it through.
Yeah,
we cleaned up and we made it through. It's kind of like my house that keeps flooding when there's major storms, but that only happens once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So putting $15,000 into what needs to be done to fix this situation, I keep putting that off
until Until shoot, $15,000 still a lot of money.
Who you telling?
Anyway, to move on. So I remember some of these things back in 2005. It's not our fault that they didn't leave. It's not our fault they didn't leave. They were asked to leave. They could have left and everything else. So people keep forgetting that some of them did try to leave.
Much of their community was concentrated where they lived. The only way they could possibly evacuate was by walking. And even when they did try this, tried to find safety for their children, their elders, their neighbors, and themselves, they were met with the threat of violence. Thousands of people tried to walk across the Crescent City Connection Bridge to the nearby suburbs. But when they did, they were met by armed police officers who stood on the bridge to force people to turn back. Sometimes they even fired their weapons over their heads. Elsewhere, at the Danziger Bridge, police officers actually shot and killed 2 unarmed civilians and seriously injured 4 others. All of these factors left many of the poorest residents stranded, at risk of death, and traumatized by their experiences.
And I'm going to come to you first because, like I said, I can see everybody's face. Everybody else can't. I can see everybody's face. Tell me how you feel after hearing that.
I did not know about that, or I did not remember. I was 24 when this happened. I know there's a whole thing of it's not good to swear early in the show. What the fuck, cops? Why weren't
They're
you
just following
leaving them out?
Following orders.
Why is
The
there
people-
not? How to have?
The
That
people they
makes me
work for
mad.
didn't want those people in their community.
You wasn't there before. We don't want you there now.
The villain always seems to play a certain role, don't they? Good gracious, they come out of Central Casting. They just always seem to, Them damn bridges.
Tracy? Oh, I forgot. You did say you wasn't saying nothing through this show. But yeah, Anna, they were following orders. And you can say which orders it was from the police, chief police, the mayor, the neighborhood themselves. We do not want you here. We're willing to kill you to make sure that you do not come here. Now we're going to show you that we're serious about killing you because we do not want you here.
Hey, Marlon, draw that comparison to, of course, the natural comparison would be civil rights, right? But also draw that comparison to the southern border with Donald Trump. We will steal your children. We will kill you. We will beat you with whips to send the message. Don't come across this bridge. You are not welcome over here with the people who already got stuff. You stay over there, and if you die over there, then you shouldn't have been poor. If you're stuck over there, well, you shouldn't have been poor. America does this.
And that's not even forget about how y'all was, I don't even know how to say this, cattle ranching the Haiti people that was coming over.
Whipping them on horseback.
And oh, by the way,
right?
Don't let us not forget that we still have some of them that's still missing.
So that's my point. And then I would say, because people always say, this is not about color. It's not about color. Fine, I'm going to tell y'all, not about color. What I would like for you to do then is just take a look at each side of every one of these issues and just draw me a profile of who's on each side.
The haves and the have-nots.
I'm sorry. Y'all got to be kidding
And
me.
pick any event. Pick them. I don't care. Pick them.
You
Pick 'em.
decided upon yourselves that the
One
city
side. I'm
wants
sorry.
you so badly. We are willing to kill you to keep you out. And then turn around with the narrative of, well, they should have left sooner.
Yep. At the end of the day, America has a lot of issues, but one of its issues is that we have moralized poverty and wealth. If you have wealth, it is because you are blessed. If you do not have wealth, it is because you are not blessed. Therefore, you are suffering your fate because it is God's will. That's the distortion. It's the complete opposite of what God would say to us, but that is the distortion. So they look at it and they say these poor people are poor because they're poor of spirit, they're poor of work ethic, they're poor of morality, they're poor of whatever it may be, and we don't want that over here because it might be catching. So they will tell you, you need to flee. It is time to evacuate. We're sending buses to get you out. Buses. How many people you gonna get on a bus? First of all, but anyway, at least it was something, and that's good. But you send buses. Where am I gonna go? Okay, I live on disability. I live on government assistance. I live on meager wages. I ain't got no money. So even if you take me out of here, I can't get a hotel. I won't even have a car to sleep in. What do I do with my 5-year-old child? What do I do with my 70-year-old parent? What do I do?
With me.
So, and if you're, and this is just a little side thing, but if you're a guy, you are a male, there's no help for you. America is not built to help you.
Hold on.
So
hold that
now
thought.
what?
Hold that thought. That actually is the next video. The resettling.
As the water levels of the Mississippi River and Lake Pontchartrain rose, the streets became even more flooded. There were parts of the city that were flowing with water up to 20 feet deep. And within days, up to 85% of the city was underwater. People were waiting on the roofs of their homes, hoping for rescue. People lost everything they had. Many survivors had to take boats or helicopters to evacuation sites at the Superdome or Convention Center in New Orleans. The Coast Guard rescued 34,000 people, and ordinary citizens organized to provide food and shelter for anybody that they could find. Even still, it's estimated that between 1,000 and 4,000 people lost their lives, most to drowning. It is considered the deadliest hurricane since 1928. Many survivors ended up permanently displaced and moved to cities like Mobile, Alabama, Houston, Texas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Chicago, Illinois. I have friends and family who left when they evacuated from the storm and then never came back. Over 1 million people across the Gulf Coast were displaced and resettled elsewhere.
So, yeah.
Sure. And the thing is, if you had to flee,
Keep happening.
and I'm not even talking about the poorest of the poor. I'm talking about like just working class folk, regardless of your color. If you had to flee and go somewhere else, you can't come back. Can't afford to. Because wherever you ended up, you had to find a job.
But not even that is, but the funny thing about it is, come back to what? You knew what your house looked like. You knew what your
more desolation and poverty.
You could have came back to what? We was barely having enough money to live in a house that was barely livable in. Now it ain't even livable in it. But you want us to come back to what? There was
And
nothing
insurance
to come
companies
back
weren't
to.
paying. Insurance companies weren't paying.
No.
Assuming
And
that you had insurance. Assuming you had insurance. Insurance wasn't paying. Because they lost so much money paying for the people who had insurance in the neighborhood and communities outside of the major impact area. So they would do to you is say, well, you got flood insurance? Oh, well, this was a natural disaster. This wasn't just a storm. This is a disaster. So it doesn't even qualify under the terms of your policy. So we aren't going to be able to pay on that. So all that stuff was going on too.
So basically, wherever you landed, you're starting off fresh, brand new.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody doesn't get caught up just on the race thing, because it's too easy to get caught up on the race thing. Race is definitely a major part of it. It's the accelerant on the fire. But it's to me, it is a major indictment of how America treats its own citizens.
All right. So the disaster happened. People scattered. Death toll is up. As a country, we always got to say to ourselves, who to blame?
For many, the narrative around Hurricane Katrina was that New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole were unprepared for this disaster. And there was a lot of finger pointing. Some people blame Mayor Ray Nagin for not evacuating the city earlier, for the lack of a clear plan, or for not anticipating the obstacles that existed for low-income people who wanted to evacuate but couldn't. Mayor Nagin pointed his finger at the federal government for designing the levees so poorly. He also said that the government was very slow to respond and was incompetent in helping New Orleans residents. For others, it reflected how the wars in the Middle East were taking up too much time, energy, and focus, and distracted the federal government from solving important problems right here in the United States. Almost immediately after the storm ended, it started to become very clear that the federal government, including the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA for short, along with President George W. Bush, did not understand how bad things were in New Orleans and across the rest of the Gulf Coast. FEMA was criticized by many for being slow to respond and uncoordinated in their efforts. Many attributed this lack of urgency to the fact that the victims of the storm were largely poor and black. New Orleans was a majority black city, and nearly 30% of the city lived in poverty. Many African American political leaders stated that when hurricanes have hit predominantly white cities, like Palm Beach, Florida, the federal government moves extremely quickly in its response. Whereas in New Orleans, even a year and a half after the hurricane, much of the city had not been rebuilt, and many neighborhoods, like the predominantly black Ninth Ward, were still in ruins for years. Even when help finding shelter did come, it came in the form of unstable government trailers that were often filled with toxic levels of formaldehyde.
Did they say formaldehyde?
Yep. We're gonna give you shelter, Tracy. We're gonna give you the bottomless of the bottomless barrel.
And also cancer? What the?
And Brad Pitt will come build your house himself.
So, as always, the finger pointing the deal like this, and I'm finna pull a Theus right now when I say this. Okay, now what?
Yeah, they were doing a lot of finger pointing. I'm like, isn't it
Now,
all y'all's
now what?
fault?
Okay, great. That it was his fault. Now what? Now you gonna
Okay,
build the houses back? Okay, yeah, it was their fault. Now what? You gonna bring all the people back? Now what? You're gonna make sure that the levees are completely taken care of, so this won't happen again. So, yeah, I get what somebody has to take the blame, but and what now?
Yeah, but the blame, such as it is, like I think there's different levels of looking at the blame. Are we looking at who is to blame for the damage and the suffering being as severe as it was, or who is to blame for the response, or who is to blame for the planning that precedes it all? There's different places to look at, but
They looked at
unfortunately,
all of them.
huh?
They looked at all of them. And the funny thing
Yeah,
about what
but
you're saying is when you look at the levels, you notice that the name changed.
right, because I mean, there's Ray Nagin. You can blame him, such as it is, because it's his role for the evacuation and for how the police and the local officials treated people, the survivors. You can blame him for that. Um, I don't think it's all warranted, but you can because he was the mayor, right? And then you got to look at whoever the governor was and blame them. Fair. Then you got to look at FEMA. But once you look at FEMA, you got to ask yourself, what about Congress? They're the ones who actually decides how much funding they have. Who is the head of FEMA? What was their planning like? Right? And then you got to go another step, but you got to look back at just the nature of your community that doesn't prioritize the lives of these people. So it's like there's plenty of blame to go around, and everybody who is owed some blame should get it. But unfortunately, that's not how we as a collective do. We will point out each of those and then blame the president because it's easiest. We say the buck stops with you. You're the president. You're the highest office in the land. Completely ignoring, is that even like his level of responsibility or authority? Or are we just doing it because it feels better to be able to blame the president?
Yeah, because we know who the president is.
Mm-hmm.
How many times you had to look up to find out who the mayor was, or the government, or who's in charge of FEMA? And trust me, yeah, it may not take long to find out who the mayor is and the governor. It takes a little bit more research to find out. Well, wait a minute, FEMA wasn't there when it's supposed to. Who's in charge of that? Now, what's his qualifications? What did he respond to? No, it don't matter. We're just gonna just go after the president because we know him.
Yep.
See him every week. So let's go ahead and find out what was the political outcome of the blame game.
Ultimately, the debacle had a range of political consequences. The director of FEMA, Michael D. Brown, was viewed by many as unsuited for his duties, and he was forced to resign. New Orleans Police Department superintendent was also forced to resign. Louisiana Governor Kathleen Blanco did not run for re-election in 2007, and Mayor Ray Nagin left office in 2010 and was later convicted of bribery, fraud, and money laundering during his tenure as mayor. In November 2009, a federal judge ruled that the Army Corps of Engineers were infrastructurally irresponsible and to blame for most of the flooding during the hurricane. This was the first time that a specific government agency was held liable for Hurricane Katrina flooding, but the judge limited liability to the worst parts of the damage in the lower Ninth Ward and St. Bernard Parish.
So there's your outcome. Either you resigned because you didn't have a choice, or as Governor Blanca just decided, I'm not even going to try to run again.
Well, I mean, that's definitely a career killer.
Even
if they weren't brought up on charges, it's time to go.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, you don't really run from office after that.
It's time to go.
I'm just saying, you could be, let's say you were the administrator of a hospital and you work very hard. You work 80 hours a week. You got some of the best talent in the hospital. You have managed to, take care of people and make profit. You're doing all those wonderful things. And then on your watch, the entire wing where the babies are kept catch fires and everybody dies. And the reason why it caught fire was because there was a lightning strike that made it catch fire. Nothing you could have done at all about it. I don't think you come back to work after that.
Nope, you better not.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You're done. So yeah,
Well,
I'm curious. Oh, go ahead, Tracy.
I was just gonna say, why they had to mention the mayor got brought up on charge? Like, did they have to really bring that in there? Like, okay.
If you notice, this guy does that every time. He is messy. He's messy, and that's why I don't like him. He's messy. He does this on every single video.
I did.
Every single video.
Like, he been brought. What did that had to do with Hurricane? For what? Huh? I thought I was the only one that caught that.
The thing about it was, I was so
he was brought up on charges
because it was like, and in 2010, 5 years.
5 years after. Oh, okay. This has to do with Hurricane because of what? And then you can't afford to live in New Orleans.
I'm not getting the connection on. Why he was
because they messy. Because they're messy.
Had nothing to do with the hurricane. Trust me.
Did nothing. I'm like, what? Did I miss
And
something?
then in 2019, he cheated on his wife. Okay.
Didn't mention nothing about nobody else. But as soon as that mayor came, he was brought up on fraud. Okay, was he frauding while he was in? Did he take money meant for the levies and pocket it? Okay, that might have been important.
Yeah,
right. That would make sense. Yeah.
That would make sense, right? Because it would have something to do with. Nope, just. I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that caught that because I'm like,
5 years later, he was gone. He was gone. It was only 5 years later. So
I'm curious, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not curious enough to look it up. I'm curious if following this event, considering how memorable it is, have they repaired? Not just repaired, replaced the levee system and put new locks and
yes, they have to because New Orleans is like they're on the
but they haven't had a direct hit. They haven't had that type of a direct hit since Katrina. The last one that was major hit, it came by that area, but it ended up flooding the Mississippi River and went all the way up in Ohio and stuff.
Repaired them because they were under pressure too.
Yeah, I think it has been repaired or replaced. All of those things. Now, have it been tested? No,
well, no, because you haven't had a natural disaster.
Right.
Not to measure up to what Katrina did.
I just really wish, and this is really bad across the South. I mean, it's probably the nationwide thing, but it's really bad across the South where you have red governors, red leadership, where they just do not invest in infrastructure. They will wait until something breaks and then try to deal with it. And I'm like, that you got these.
Yeah, Louisiana's governor is a Democrat, the current one.
The legislature is Republican.
I mean, he's Republican too. I mean, he's.
but no, I mean, even then, I mean, Democrats nobody has clean hands here, right? Because I want to say Michigan is known for being overwhelmingly Democrat. I don't know, but it's still just a matter of America. But it's just worse with conservatives, where they don't want to spend the money because they know they're against taxes, right? So they don't want any money going into the coffers to then go in and help people who aren't helping to build the tax base, right? If they have an influx of money, they're not going to sit there and say, okay, we got $5 million. Do we go in and go to these 3 communities and get rid of the lead pipes and all of that proactively, which they know the moment they start, if they do find any lead residue or issues, now they're going to start getting sued, right? So they look at that and then they say, or we could take this $5 million and we can build a museum over here in the suburbs or a new entertainment complex, you know, over here, and then money usually goes that way. Because one will make you money, the entertainment complex will make you money, and nobody's going to sue you. But if you go and try to fix a problem that hasn't been identified by the most people yet, you're going to get sued.
But that's the way most Americans do. I mean, most people I know, they complain about taxes being too high. But they want their roads not to have potholes in them. They want the police to protect them. They want teachers to be paid well. They want clean water. They want quality air, and expect it to cost nothing. Yeah, we expect it to cost nothing. Those things cost money.
Oh, let me let y'all in on a little secret. The wealthy folks, the upper middle class and wealthy people, they know what the rest of us choose not to know. They know that we have historically some of the lowest tax rates that we've had in history.
We sure do too.
In history.
And we will complain our taxes are too high. What, you want to pay nothing? Like, how teachers gonna get paid? Like,
yeah.
But people never ask themselves that question.
Yeah. You ask
so the people with money,
Tracy. Yeah.
Yeah, the people with money, they know this. But they also know that America has fooled its population into being aspirational. So poor people truly believe they're one big break, one great decision, one opportunity away from being the wealthy people. So we will fight against taxation, even though the taxes is what's going to help your child actually have a chance to climb that ladder that you think you're on.
We should be advocating for more taxes instead of saying, oh no, wait a minute. No, I mean, people, like, ask yourself, how do you expect the police to get paid? How?
They don't ever get to how. They never get to
how. That don't even make sense.
They want you, Tracy. They want everybody else but my paycheck to be affected.
My paycheck.
They believe in taxation. Trust me. I've heard a whole bunch of people say how everybody should be paying their fair taxes. You need to pay your fair wages and everything else. Just don't look at my check. I need y'all to pay fair taxes.
Because I already pay too much. Nuts. I'm like, you ain't even making sense.
I pay enough.
You are not making sense, America. Y'all got to stop this. Y'all ain't making no sense.
Hold on for a second. After $14 billion, the vast network of levees, gates, and flood walls built to protect New Orleans area in the wake of Hurricane Katrina devastation is finally completed. This was in May 2022.
What?
And the storm was in what year?
2009, right?
Probably.
Okay. Hey, it takes them 10 years to do a stretch on the interstate. So, but yeah, it's just, that's the thing that's funny. Like, I just wish more people would get to the how. And I don't care if you have the answer to the how. I would just really like more people to ask the damn how. When people say to you what they're going to do, especially these politicians, when they say what they're interested in or what their platforms are or what they want, how? Right? When you say that my taxes are too high, when in reality, you pay taxes at the end of the year, right? So April is when the first time you're even really concerned about your taxes. You're paying it along the way in your deductions, right?
Right.
But then,
and sales
if you get a refund, you didn't pay taxes.
You really didn't.
You didn't pay much. I'll put it that way. So, and then let's just say that you do. Let's say you owe taxes. Let's say at the end, even after they took money from you all year, like they did me, and then they turn around and say you still owe me another $2,000. Now, in my world, $2,000 is a big number. But $2,000 over 12 months, it's $200 a month, basically. Is that really a lot to ask to support your country? I think the problem that we have with taxes, if we would really be honest with each other, is not the paying of taxes. Because if you want a military to keep Russia from coming in here, taxes. If you want Congress to actually put laws on the books to help protect you from your crazy neighbors and all these different things, and your local legislature to keep you from having somebody park junk cars in your front yard, taxes. So it's not, I don't think that most people are truly against taxes. They just say they are. What they're really against is the corruption and the lack of transparency and accountability.
Oh,
Like, I wouldn't
They'll
mind paying more taxes if you actually get rid of the people who are stealing money along the way,
Yeah, if they
and I can see it go somewhere.
Yeah, if I saw like crime getting lower, people getting health care, yes, please tax me. Thank you.
oh, we had one person that was against taxes.
Oh gosh, we're not gonna do this again. No. No. We're not gonna go here. We're not going here today.
But that's okay, because if we don't pay taxes, our corporate overlords are going to take care of everything for us.
Except close that one school. Anyway, what replaced all the people who was dispersed after Katrina? Well, here we go.
Following the storm, many of the Black families who had lived in the city for generations could not afford to move back and rebuild. Oftentimes, the people who came in their place were younger white Americans who had the means that many Black New Orleans families did not. Some communities that were once all Black now have few Black people left in them. Gentrification is something that almost every urban city experiences. But in New Orleans, the process was supercharged by the devastation brought by Katrina.
No. Wow, I'm shocked.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, they can have that land, but the problem is they're going to be living in a bad area because the oceans are still going to continue to rise, and the storms are going to continue to get stronger. And the cycle that we're currently on, here we go, conservatives, you're going to like this part, you're going to like this part. Oh wait, no, it has to do with science. You won't like this part. You won't like this part. So the way Earth moves around the sun and the way the sun moves throughout the space, whatever, we go through cycles, and the sun goes through its own type of cycles as well. So there's an element of what's affecting our climate that has nothing to do with what we're doing. Has nothing to do with carbon monoxide and pollution, and has nothing to do with none of that. Okay, the moon continues to move further away from the Earth every year. The moon affects our tide. So you have that. So now you got issues with the ocean. The sun goes through flares and adjustments roughly every 40 to 80 years or some crazy number. I don't remember which one it was, but we're in that band of time. So that's also affecting things. So the water is warmer. The tides are acting different, and the Earth is adjusting like it always does. Like, I think sometimes we as human beings, we overestimate our value and our importance to this giant rock that we sit on. Like, Earth is going to do what Earth's going to do. And eventually it's going to shrug all of us off because we cause a lot of problems. And then it's going to clean itself up, and we're going to go through a new rotation, and we won't be here for it. So there's an element of this thing that has nothing to do with pollution, nothing to do with greenhouse gases, nothing to do with none of that. But then there's another part that does. We're accelerating the issue. So we're going to continue to deal with these really strong storms. And so even though they've repaired the levees and they've done the levees, hopefully up to more current standards than whatever they had before, which is probably a brick wall with a pipe in it. Now they, the white folks came in there and they didn't gentrified and whatever, but they're going to have to move soon too.
You still in the same spot, buddy.
Eventually, because the water's going to continue to rise. But I'm going to take y'all on a tangent again. Gentrification. I get it. It continues to dislocate or take people out of their homes or what have you. But if you take a step back and look at the cycle, it's roughly about 40 years. So every other generation kind of rotates. So white people were in the city. They wanted to go to the suburbs because they wanted to kind of get away from us. But they were in the city. They went to the suburbs. That's one generation went to the suburbs. Their children grew up in the suburbs. Their children become grown, move back to the city. Their children will live in the city. Their children are going to move back to the suburbs. About every 40 years, this bad boy rotates. We just call it gentrification now. What makes it so much worse is the issues with American capitalism that keeps the wealth out of the hands of many people of color because we've been barred from the engines of creation that actually generates capital. So we're not able to play on par. Our money doesn't go as far to be able to play the game. And then when you get really, really insidious about this, and this isn't a good or evil thing, this is just how people function. When the white people move out of these areas, on the most part, they don't sell their property. They don't sell their land. They rent it. They rent it out to the people who are there. So in that 40-year cycle, it's not that a whole lot of more people are buying up the land. They're not selling it. So is it really gentrification when they come back to the land they already own? And please don't twist it. I'm not trying to stick up for it. I'm just saying we got to put some things in perspective. And each year, each cycle is going to just get stronger and stronger to the point that now you can't get land. Look at it now. You want to buy a house, you ain't getting no land. You're getting a quarter acre or less. And properties are built up and not out. It's just how it works. But sorry, thank you for going on that little journey with me.
And with that, that is our first hour. We are actually 2 minutes under, so I'm not even going to waste time by saying that the first hour is up. We will take a 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we will see everybody on the other side with Am I the A-Hole? Foxy's videos of the week. Stay tuned.
Rejoicing, roll.
We are back for the second hour of Radical Truth to Power. But before we even get started, let's go ahead and pay them bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a Bella Tracy media page. Help support Tracy in all her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/complex mind. Help support Thea's and all of his endeavors. Please do not forget to go to my Patreon page, patreon.com, Radical Truth to Power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Help support me in all of my endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BoreliaEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you want to drop me a line, a comment, a complaint, or anything else, you can always go to radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. Digging it. 2 days in a row. Okay. Hey, Marlon. Marlon. I'm pretty much just listening and learning today. That's what we do. That's what we do these shows. I tell you, some of these subjects that I choose, we got glimpse of it growing up through it. But we never got into the deep parts of it. Either by, we're young, we didn't know, we was caught up in something else, whatever the reason was. Well, that's why I wanted to make sure for the month of March and April that we're not doing the surface level education of these topics. No, I want to dive deep into it. The cause, the effects, the outcome, years later, that we're still feeling to this day. So, yeah, nothing wrong with listening and learning. And I learned so much with these great people that I'm on here with. And I'm very blessed.
And highly favored.
Highly favored.
Where's my barf bag?
Am I the a-hole? All right, here we go. The video that me and Foxy disagree on. I am going to listen to the panel talk. I am going to give you the argument on both sides without telling you who said what. And then I will tell you who said this way and who said it that way. What did Foxy say? What did I say? The reason I do this is because the people on here are the most unfair individuals
Wonderful.
I have ever met in my life. And
Wonderful.
they stuck up to Foxy.
Marlon
Valid.
knows he married
Impartial.
Marlon married way out of
terrible.
his league. He know he did.
They do not have their own mind. It doesn't matter what they say. As Foxy said, it is right. That's not having your own mind.
Whose voice is that
Basically,
deep?
Marlon is
Foxy
saying that we're
always
supposed to
in
be
here.
against anything that Foxy says.
Hi,
Hello.
Foxy.
She's very supportive.
Now, hopefully you are right this time, because we hate to be taking your side and then it don't work out well.
Seriously.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Mom tries to end my relationship.
My girlfriend overheard my mother say,
Sorry, and Anna, I apologize for cutting it off. Anna is one of those videos of movement.
my girlfriend overheard my mother saying an offensive remark to her as well as her family. And now, as a result, she wants to break up with me. And I seriously don't know what to do. So my girlfriend and I are in a long distance relationship. We've been together for 6 months and we only get to see each other on a monthly basis. We live approximately 4 hours away from each other's houses. One morning, my girlfriend and I were on a video call. I was still in bed while she was in their dining room having breakfast. We were having a normal conversation when her dad stepped in to ask if there are some nice hotels over at my place, since her dad's sister-in-law was planning to take a vacation in our city. I told them there were a few good ones, but I can't name anything specifically. That said, I decided to head downstairs, have some breakfast, and ask my family some decent hotels to stay in. When I got to our dining room, my sister and my mother were there. My girlfriend and I were still on a video call, so I panned my phone's camera to show my mom. My mom said hi and invited her to have some breakfast. I did the same thing with my sister while she was cooking, and she also said hi. All was going pretty well, so I prepared my food and started eating. I let my phone sit on the table, keeping myself in view for the video call. While eating, I asked my mom for any good hotels in our area, and she started saying some good and expensive hotels. I told her that my girlfriend's father is looking for a hotel in our area, and that's why I was asking in the first place. She then said, "Oh, well, they can go to this certain hotel, but it's quite expensive." And then she ended it by saying, "They're not welcome here though." I immediately felt uncomfortable after she said that. I looked at the video call and I saw that my girlfriend was acting like she didn't hear it. I muted my mic on the video call because I was afraid my mom was gonna say something even worse. A few minutes later, my girlfriend then chatted me and told me that she had to go to the bathroom, so she ended the call right then and there. When the call ended, I confronted my mom about what she just said when she knew I was on the phone with my girlfriend. She did not feel sorry about what she said, and she said something along the lines of, "I only said that because I'm still not ready for my boy to have any kind of girlfriend yet." I still told her that she didn't have to say that because it was offensive, and after that, I just walked out of the room. I was thinking about the entire thing the whole day. I was so afraid to ask my girlfriend about the situation, and I was hoping that she didn't hear it because I knew that she would get hurt. We were still chatting back and forth throughout the day, but I knew that something was in the air and we were both just avoiding it. That night, my girlfriend and I had a video call again. She was acting normal, but you could feel that something was up. She kept bringing up the topic about my family being okay with her and all of that stuff. So I told her that they're okay with her and that my dad and my sister like her. They really do. My mom's only feeling jealous about me having a girlfriend, but if they would meet each other just once, I'm sure that they would get along just fine. It was a pretty dry conversation, so once we didn't have much to talk about, we ended the call. When the call ended, my girlfriend messaged me and said, "I heard what your mom said about me not being welcome." And right there, I knew I messed up. I knew I should have consoled her immediately after my mom said that, instead of pretending like nothing happened. I told her that I'm sorry for hurting her, and I'm sorry for what my mother said. She said that she wanted to break up with me, stating that she can't be in a relationship where her partner's family doesn't accept her. I understood where she's coming from, and I got pretty overwhelmed with the situation. I told her that I wanted to fix this, this because I don't want our relationship to end just like that. She said to me, "You can't fix anything." And I didn't know what else to say at that point. My mind was completely blank at the moment. All I knew was I wanted to fix everything. It was a pretty long and emotional conversation. It took us the entire night. She even mentioned the fact that her family welcomed me with open arms, while on her end, she did not get the same treatment. And I can't blame her for that. My mom is the typical close-minded boomer, and I just can't stand her attitude sometimes. And this is one of those times. We both fell asleep while on the call. I gave her a long message this morning saying that I wanted to try and fix things. I told her that I don't want us to break up because I love her over anything in this world and that I will do everything to fix this. Fortunately, she agreed. But just this afternoon, we talked about the whole incident again, and she said there's 50% of her that wants to stay, as well as 50% of her that wants to break up. She also told me that I don't have to do anything to fix what happened. She suggested I just let things go because the damage was already done. Our relationship is currently hanging in the balance at this point, and I don't know how to fix this situation. I'm afraid that in the next few days, the other 50% of her would kick in, spelling the end of our relationship. I know that family is a big deal for my girlfriend in relationships, and it is to me too. I want to make her feel that my family really does welcome her, and I want to make her happy and comfortable in our relationship again. I want our relationship to go back to normal. What should I do? To give a bit of context for this story, the original poster is 23 years old.
He is significantly lacking in testicular fortitude. This wasn't the right relationship, homie. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Can it be three
Girl.
a-holes in the story?
Why would you say that?
Well, the mother clearly, due to I can fix this. No, you can't. You need to fix your mama's attitude. Well, you can't fix your mother's attitude. You need to talk to your mama because she got problems. She the main problem. She problem. The girlfriend talking about the damage has already been done and get past it. You can't get past this one, dear. You can't. You got to address the situation head on. You can't avoid it. And how you gonna say you can't be in a relationship where the family don't like you? Bump them people. And I said bump. B-U-M-P.
We got it, Tracy. No, you don't cuss.
Them people. I don't care if you don't like me, and I am not sleeping with you. And the point of this conversation is what?
You know where he lost me? I love her more than anything. Didn't you just say y'all together for 4 months in this long distance?
Yeah, and they only live 4 hours away. Is that really long distance? Like long distance is I live in New York and you live in Los Angeles.
No, that's long distance to me. That's long distance to me.
That's a drive.
4 hours?
I can't see you. If it takes me more than my commute to work, it's long distance.
That's long. Okay, I don't think that's long distance.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm wrong because I would have thought long distance is like long distance. You can't fix this. Girl, shut up and grow up.
Okay, so Tracy, you say everybody's the a-hole then?
Yeah, pretty much. That's where I'm going with.
No, I think
you're just saying the guy is.
No, I'm saying the guy's weak.
The mother is.
I'm saying the guy is weak. And the mom isn't an a-hole. Well, yeah, she was. She was rude. She was rude as hell. She ain't had to be rude.
How you gonna say you're not welcome here? Who's she?
It's her mama.
All she wanted was a list of hotels. She didn't say nothing about. Did nobody say nothing about staying with her? No,
it don't matter.
Said nothing.
Mama can say whatever she wants to about her
Mama
house.
Can't say. He never asked
about
to stay.
Her house?
He never asked to stay with her. He said, "What are some good hotels?" Why she gonna have to add? You can't stay here. He didn't ask to stay there.
Okay,
let's say he comes from a good
thing. You can say whatever you want to say. It was already been established. You can say what you want to say. You can feel the way that you want to feel. But that don't mean you always got to. It always got to come out your mouth. Because all they say
I agree, but
give me some hotel recommendations.
I agree, but
they just asked for hotel recommendations. Did nobody say, "Hey, can we stay with you"? Did nobody say that?
That's not my point. My point is, it's her house. So she could
But
say
nobody
something
asked to
backwards,
stay with her.
rude, pleasant. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
She
it
said
does.
it. It's her house.
That was an
It's her
unneeded
house.
opinion.
I agree it was unneeded. Y'all, I don't know what y'all debating at this point. But the thing is, she shouldn't have said it. She did say it. She had every right to say it. And and then let's say he comes from a really religious household, then it also goes to follow. Your girlfriend can't come here and spend the night.
Nobody
That
asked
is
you.
no.
But they
She
didn't
is
ask
putting it
it.
out there up front. I get it. All right, y'all. Yeah, all right, y'all debating something I ain't even talking about. So okay, y'all got it. Y'all got it. You win.
I'm just saying.
We just trying to see your point, and I ain't
The
seeing
guy,
it. I
they
don't get it.
literally said, "Give me some recommendations for a hotel." The mama off the bat, whether she was in the house, in the restaurant, in the hotel that she was given reservation for, you can't come here. What was your reasoning for saying that? Because
Petty.
nobody
She
asked you
petty.
that can we come here.
Nobody
So
wants to take
yeah,
her old
you
wrinkle
have every
behind.
right to say it, but for what was your purpose of saying it?
I just
Them
gave you
coming
one
to the
reason.
house?
She petty.
Both of you pride yourselves on being petty.
There's my level of petty, but then there's hers.
All I'm
Still
saying,
petty.
if they even come close to saying, well, you know what, Dad, if I think about it, wouldn't it be cheaper for them to stay here? Then I would go,
Then she
no,
could say, no, they can't stay
no.
here. Okay, now, because they brought up the possibility.
And then I will go with you, Thea. Why are you saying no? Because this is my house. I
It doesn't matter.
honestly
You
don't
already
have
won.
to explain
You
to
win.
you
You
why.
win. You win. You
Of course
win.
I
All right,
win.
y'all win. I know you don't make no sense, but you win. So let's go to the next part of the point that y'all had.
Anna, what's your thought? I'm done. What's your thought?
Um, I can't call him an a-hole. He,
A
I,
mama's
I have
boy.
to say, what Mickey said is what was going through my mind. You're 23 and your mother is not ready to let you have a girlfriend.
She's in his house,
Mm,
her house.
I get it.
He's in.
I,
So
I, I, and I get what you're
you
saying,
24
Tiff,
years
and
old living in my house. You still a child.
uh-huh. I mean,
But
hell,
Mama do sound a little crazy.
yes, she does. She does. Absolutely. And it was not needed. No.
We all agree the mother is clearly the a-hole. Like, she's like at the top. She's
No,
a 4
Diaz
point.
doesn't think so.
No, that's not my. No, see, you twisted my point. I
What did he
conceded that
say?
aspect of the point. I conceded that aspect of the point.
Oh, so she is the a-hole, but
But
she
not
had
for
every
saying
right.
that you can't stay at her house even though nobody asked.
No, that is the exact reason why she is being an a-hole. But
Uh,
she's entitled to be such because it's her house. So it
But
doesn't
if
excuse
nobody
the
wanted to
behavior.
stay
I'm
too
just
in the
telling you what it
first
was.
place.
all right, so here we go
It's
with the
her
two.
house.
Oh, don't care. I honestly don't even care
If he
about.
don't want his mama, if he doesn't want his mother to have any control over that aspect, and he wants to make sure he don't have to hear nothing from her that's
Don't eat
not
breakfast
solicited,
downstairs. Don't eat
then
breakfast
he needs to get the
downstairs.
hell out her house.
Don't eat breakfast downstairs around your
Get
parents,
out of house.
especially your mama,
Get
because you
out
don't know
of
what
Now
she's
her
that
gonna
part
do
I
in
house.
the
do
house.
agree with. He need to get his own house. Be like, Mama, I'm
I
grown.
got to admit
Bye.
though, 23 is kind of like, dude, are you in college? Is that's the
No, I
reason?
mean, nowadays you could be 23,
Well,
24, 30.
I,
That's not the point. And then who knows, he might be a
No.
divorcee. He had to come back home for a little while. We don't know any of
Maybe
that backstory.
we don't.
I'm just
No.
She's
saying,
not ready
right
for him to
now,
have a
you
girlfriend.
are in. Right, so I'm thinking based on that part, he ain't never moved out.
He's still living
I'm
He's
at
thinking
always
home.
so
been
too.
that
there.
may be it. That literally may be it. Okay, so here's the two arguments, and basically the two arguments are: there are two a holes and there are three a holes. So now you have to figure out who said what.
Oh, I don't play that game. Y'all figure that out. I don't.
Nah, because if I guess, I'm gonna guess wrong.
Yeah, probably, but you still got to guess.
Chop.
Well, okay.
I don't have to.
Whoever agreed with my point of
Well, you
three
really
a
ain't have to do
holes,
anything,
let's
kids. But
see.
it'd be kind if you play along with us, please.
So I'm gonna say that Foxy agreed with me in saying there were three a holes because Marlon rarely agrees with me. Yep, I'm gonna say I say Foxy said there were three a holes, and Marlon saying two. Yep, that's what I'm gonna
Okay,
guess.
Theus.
I ain't got more than one a-hole.
Oh, you don't have a one.
I
Okay,
only have one.
all right. Anna,
I'm the same as this.
just one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Foxy said two.
What? I agree with Marlon. Oh gosh.
Foxy said that.
Oh
Foxy
gosh.
said there was two a-holes, the boyfriend and the mama, obviously. Now, let's take the mama out of it. We all agree that the mama and everything else. Her argument with the boyfriend is, dude, you need to stop. You should have nipped this in the bud when you even assumed that you thought she heard it. And you didn't. You were just hoping and praying that she didn't hear it. I agreed with A. Yeah, dude, you should have nipped it in the bud and stopped hoping and praying that she didn't hear it. Man up. And I know I'm gonna hate that using that word, but this is I know I hate using that word on any situation. You need to have you should have handled this even if she didn't hear it. Two, the mother, blah 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 blah. Three, yeah, I'm giving it to the girlfriend. Why? Simply put, hey, ain't everybody got to like you.
Thank
That ain't
you.
how this world works.
So don't.
And the funny thing about it is, listen to who she said don't like her. The mama. The sister liked her. The father liked her. But you automatically figure if you ain't got the trifecta of his family, then hey, I'm out.
But he lives with the mother. So if she goes and visit, she's visiting in her house. The mom already said she.
But the daddy lived there too. It's his house
Okay,
too.
okay. But again, for the daughter, for the girlfriend, this is the real world. Ain't nobody got to like you. Not everybody got to like you. That ain't how this works.
That don't make her an a-hole because her feelings got hurt.
No. Right.
Your
She
feelings
needs to
got
grow
hurt
all the
because
way
you
up
know
and realize, hey,
no,
everybody ain't
your
gonna like
feelings
all
got
this
hurt.
awesomeness. Everybody
Your
ain't gonna
feelings
That
like
got
don't
me.
hurt
make you
because
an
you
a-hole
automatically
because your
thought,
feelings got
I'm out
hurt.
of the relationship because your mother doesn't like me? Yes, that does. That
your
clearly
She's
makes.
feelings,
choosing to get out of the relationship. He didn't dump her.
But why?
your
Because the
feelings
mother
got
didn't like
hurt
her.
because
Father
one
liked her,
member of
sister
the
liked
family
her,
don't
but
like
because the mother
It
doesn't
is
like her, I'm gonna just exit. That don't even make no
Man,
sense.
you. Your
y'all
feelings
be
was
so
hurt
wild, boy. Y'all be
because one
wild.
it
third
is
of the
very
family didn't like
important to her. The family
She needs
aspect
to
is
grow
very
up.
important to her.
I don't. If I'm dating a man, I don't care if his entire family don't like me. Oh well, guess who you
Yeah,
gonna have to put up with?
That's right.
But he better like plays. He better like your football team. He better like
Oh well, yeah, he better
He
like the
better worship
49.
the way you worship. He better eat the way you eat.
just
He
because it's
better
the mama
talk the
house
way you
doesn't mean that
talk.
she can be. Thank you, Mickey. Just because it's the mama house doesn't mean she can be rude, mean, and nasty for
Yes,
no
she can.
reason.
Yes, she can.
What?
No, she can't. That's rude.
Do whatever she want to be.
Okay, fine,
She can do
fine,
whatever she
fine,
want in
fine,
her
fine,
house.
fine.
she's
Let's
That
just
doesn't make
a
it
rude
right.
person.
let's go.
Nobody's
That
talking
Let's
about
doesn't.
go
right
with
and
it.
wrong,
Let's
Tracy.
go with it.
We're
No,
not
let's
talking
go
about
with
right
it.
and wrong.
Let's go with the thought process. It's her house. She could be however
It's
she
not
want
the
to be.
dad's house.
Hold on, Tracy. Hold on, Tracy. Let's go with the thought process that she could be whoever it is she be. Then I guarantee you, she better keep her damn mouth shut when he moves out and still be dating this girl. I don't give a rat's ass about your damn opinion because apparently your opinion only counts because I was in your house. I'm not in your house no more, which means I don't need to hear about your opinion
And
now.
never asked to stay at her house.
I don't want
And
to hear it.
and then people act, y'all acting like that ain't the father's house. He just there. He's just there. He didn't. It's not his house either. It's just her house.
And the sister.
Who? Okay, I like
And
that. I
the
like
sister.
that point that Tracy just made. Now, even in the situations where the man is the head of the household, like for example, in my relationship, I'm the head of this household. What I say basically goes. You know what I won't say? Anything I know she doesn't already roll with. Because I'm not a king. So,
I'm saying
yeah,
you
it's his house
courted.
too.
She
But
didn't
I'm
even
not going to
consult
choose
him.
your girlfriend.
She
I'm not
no.
going to choose
She's
your
talking like
girlfriend over my wife. She could be wrong as
Okay,
the day is
Trace,
long. That's still my
I'm
wife.
so terribly sorry. That is a great point. I'm not going to choose
she's
my
talking
son's
like she the
girlfriend
only one in
over
that
my
house to pick.
wife.
I'm not saying pick one or the other. I'm just saying why y'all act like it's just her house. There's another adult
Be-
whose house that is.
because
No.
in this situation, it's all of their house, but everybody's opinion doesn't equal the same at any given time. There are some areas that mom is the final authority. And in this one, this is going to be one of them where I'm like, okay, I got to make a decision. Do I side
Some
with my
ain't
son and his
side with
girlfriend,
her son.
or do I
Cause
side with my wife?
Wait
And
a minute.
my wife may be wrong,
Do you
but
think the mom would be okay
this
with the
ain't going to be a
girlfriend
hard
coming
call.
over just to hang out as opposed to staying?
no, because
Or
she can't give
would
him
she
up.
have been against the girlfriend coming
Cause
to
she
the
wants
house
a husband. She
altogether?
wants an extra husband up there making him a mama's boy. She
No,
done
she
made
just
him
won't
a
let that boy
papa.
grow up. She won't let that boy
No.
grow up.
Here's the deal, Parker. That is such and I know you're not doing it on purpose. I'm saying that's a loaded question to me. Is she opposed to staying the night? Yes. Or has she been against the girlfriend coming over to the house altogether? That
Yes.
too could also be yes.
And who
Yes,
asked
But
I
her to
think it's
pick
the first
anything?
part.
I don't have enough. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you all think the mom would be okay with the girlfriend coming over just to hang out as opposed to staying the night?
Nope.
Or would she have been against the girlfriend coming to the house altogether?
Yes. Yes to the second question. She don't want to see her. She don't
I
want to
think
be
it's.
around.
For the
I
for the
I
limited
think
for the limited information that was given is yes to both questions. But again,
yeah.
I'm saying from the limited information that was given. I don't know because she literally said, if you're saying a hotel, for instance, Parker, she said looking for a hotel. Hotel obviously being you're staying overnight, blah blah blah. So when the mom popped off with, but they ain't staying here, how the man she thinking overnight, not visiting or hanging out or whatever. So that was her thought process of saying, okay, while you looking for these hotels, just make sure that this house is not in your options of places to stay
And
while
again,
you're here.
nobody
That's
asked
all she
her
was
to
saying.
stay with her.
That's
She was
right.
heading it off before you asked. She was heading it off before you asked. Don't even
Rude
bother
lady.
asking me, son. You already know.
It's not just the mother's house. There's a
Thank you.
husband,
There's
a
a
daughter,
husband.
and a son. 3/4 of the people in the house doesn't have a problem with him having a girlfriend.
Boy,
Mother,
Mickey, we on the
mommy
same
has a
page.
problem.
On the same page, Mickey. We on the same
And
page.
here is the issue that we have, Mickey. Here is the issue that we have. You are absolutely 100% correct. So, who does it really boil down to talking about the mom? Is he a son or a mama's boy?
Oh, he's definitely a mama's boy. But she's raised him
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
That's
I agree
what
with
some.
Tracy there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
because
some women do
that's
that
the whole
mess
difference.
and
If
make it hard for us
if
out
you're
here to
looking
date them.
at 3/4 of the people in the household and he's a mama's boy, it's 3/4 and a half now.
You mean
Because
it's one half, the father and the daughter.
yeah, but half of his heart gonna go. If he's a mama boy, half of what he's thinking is going with the mama.
Oh no, he gonna go with the mother 100%. Because he gonna try to sit them down and make them get along and blah blah blah.
I mean, families don't always get along.
Sure don't. That's why I said if I'm
I,
dating some
I,
man, I don't care if the whole family ain't none of y'all got to like me.
I have
I
to
don't
check
Well,
out.
care.
I have to check
I don't
out a
I can't
situation
function
like
like
that.
that. But
Yeah, I
If
have
you
to
don't
check
like,
out on
if you
something
can't
like
handle
that.
all of this awesomeness, that's your problem, not mine.
but it is your problem because you have to function in that relationship.
Yep,
I don't have to function with them. I ain't got the relationship with them.
he
You
has
do,
to.
you do, yeah, you do.
He has to.
That's him. They ain't got nothing to do with me.
It has a lot to do with you. Because when he's stressed out, because the two sides of his heart are being pulled in opposite directions, you're his lady. So guess who he's gonna be relying on for help and support?
And I'm be
So
like, leave
yeah,
that stupid
even though
ignorant
you
family
don't deal with
alone.
him, that's your advice to your man. Leave your family alone.
If they toxic, yes.
They
If
ain't
they're
toxic,
But they're only
toxic,
toxic
Tracy.
towards you. They're
They
not
they
toxic
toxic to
towards
you.
him.
And now you telling him to drop them for you.
I'm worth it though.
Okay, she ain't being serious no more.
I'm,
So
oh boy. Marlon splitting it up in a half, splitting it up into half of his heart on one side and half his heart on the other. LOL. That was funny. 3/4. I
And
can't
I'm
think
like,
of nothing else. 3/4 and a half is about as close
and
as
a
I can
half.
come to it. 3/4 and a half is about as close as I can come with it. And I know that's not even a real.
And that
yeah, I got
mother,
two of the possible.
ain't nobody want to stay with her. Like, girl, did nobody ask you to stay with you? Don't nobody want to be around you?
Only thing that I actually put on the girlfriend was I want you to understand that everybody don't have to like you. And I only had to deal with that one time. I literally only had to deal with one person who did not like me, but never had a real reason why they did not like me. They did not like me, and it took, some wiser people to come to go, everybody ain't got to like you, dude. That ain't how this works. Everybody they ain't got
I,
to like you. And I'm like,
I agree. But, and hear me out,
okay.
everybody does not have to like you. But you are a fool if you are early in a relationship and you gonna try to stick into a relationship where the family, the matriarch of the family in this particular case, y'all ain't compatible. Now it's different if you fell in love, like y'all really were in love. He's only been with her for 4 months. That ain't real love.
Yeah, that
So
ain't
it's
even
different
time
if you've
enough to
been
get out
with
the
her.
cake.
Was that compatible simply because she said you can't come spend the night in my house? Because even as a parent, I'm even saying, hey, you know what? You do live under my house, and I know you're 23, but I don't want your girlfriend spending the night in my house.
I agree, but
Is that
Marlon, you just wasted all this time arguing against the very point you just made.
wait a minute? No, okay.
Yes, you just
Okay, so I'll go back. I'll go back to splitting up what my statement was. Okay? I go back to splitting up what my statement was. To the girlfriend, ain't nobody always got to like you. Now, I'm going by what she said. Now, my thought process could be, you have absolutely no evidence whatsoever that she don't like you because of that assumption you think she's your girl. She's the girlfriend, and every girlfriend that he's ever had spent the night over your house, and you have no evidence, or you haven't said any evidence in this that every girlfriend that this dude had spent the night one time or another over your house. You didn't say that. You just said, "Oh, she off the cuff said you can't spend the night, so automatically that means she don't like me." That's not how that
But
works.
it also was further followed up with the point that she's not ready for her son to even have a girlfriend. So it
That's
don't matter who she is.
and that's the
You
second part.
just
That's
know.
the second part. So I don't know. But again,
Maybe if they met, it'd be different.
is that what the mom said? Did she say, I don't want no girlfriend, period? She didn't
That's what I
see
heard.
They
that's
met. They went. They've been together once a month. It said.
for 4 months though.
Yeah, they see each other every month.
Every month
They've
is
been
what it
together for
was
4 months.
right.
He's
So this,
he's so in love with her that he just loves her more than anything else.
Okay,
Okay, dude.
that was just
yeah,
Four
we just
months,
have to
dude. Come on.
dispel.
that was
I can see a year, maybe.
yeah. That's my.
That's where I can see what he was saying, but dude.
Everyone doesn't have to
But
like
she might
her.
be.
But if
Hey,
she's
there are those
involved with a
stories
mama's
of,
boy, everyone doesn't have to like her. But if she involved with a mama's boy with a mama who doesn't like her, and if that's her, and that mom is overbearing, I see the problem ahead.
Yep. She saw the red flag and paid attention to it.
I'm waiting on mom to do the. But
Wait, there's more, yeah.
No, good no. No, that was
And the
look.
girlfriend's
I'm
all
sorry. I
immature.
didn't even know
If
that
the
took the first
mother
5
doesn't
minutes.
like me, I'm out of the relationship. Girl, that's one member of the
That's
family.
not immature.
That's
not
That was
immature.
a
I
5
would
minute
leave.
video. They ain't
If
gonna be no
I would
upload.
leave
one member of the
off
family.
of that alone, I would leave because that's a serious red flag, and it's early
And
in a relationship.
important.
You don't need this.
Mm,
You don't need it.
What if it
Like
was
if y'all
the
been
sister?
together for a
What if it
year
was
or
the
something
sister that
like
didn't
that,
like
and you
her?
try to work through things. But this is early in a relationship. You
What
get
if
a
it was
red
the
flag.
sister that didn't
Pay
like her?
attention to it, huh?
What if it was just a sister that didn't like him? Like
Yeah,
Then
her?
or
that'd be
the
a different equation.
so because it's
When
the
you're
mother, y'all
dating,
making it.
yes, she's a matriarch. But other thing I'm saying is when you're dating, and once again, we disagree here. When you're dating, you can dump anybody, break up with anybody for any reason. So your mental health, your emotional health is far more important than any girlfriend, boyfriend relationship. So if there's a red flag that you personally can't deal with, get
Why'd
out.
you break up with him? His mother didn't like me. Girl, bye.
I'll break up with you because I've broken up with a girl because she ate with her mouth open. So it don't matter. Whatever your thing is, if this ain't for you, why would you stay in it and now it's awkward? Just
right.
let it go. Let it go. Work with somebody else.
Let it go.
Everybody ain't gotta like you, and everybody ain't for you.
No, because if you can't handle this awesomeness, that's your problem.
That is a fair statement.
That's right.
Marlon, that's right.
Foxy's videos of the week. Hey everybody, this is the last segment of the show. So if you haven't hit that like button, please do so at this time. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. We are 15 subscribers away from 100. If you are new to the show, this is Foxy's videos of the week where we go through just random crap and make comments about it. I try to make this a little lighthearted than all the rest of the shows simply because come think of it, I have no simply because I just try to sound smarter than what I was. So I just do it because I want to do it.
Please like, and then because if any of you are on what is it, Facebook or the Instagram, you probably got multiple profiles. So log in under them profiles and subscribe under those profiles too.
Sounds good to me. I'll take them any way I want to. Okay, the first video of the night. And I'm putting this up because honestly, I have felt this way for such a long time that I want to see if I'm on the right track. I got the panel on here who will let me know if I'm on the right thought path. And Theus is one of the biggest advocate on Marlon. You can think what you want to think, but bro, that ain't what you should be thinking. So I want to know if I'm on the right thought path of this.
Hey, Marlon, before you start,
Yep.
What did Foxy say?
About what?
If you're trying to figure out if you're on the right path.
Oh, no. First video.
I tried to help.
No, you didn't.
Right-wing insults are so funny to me because half the time they're just like low-key compliments. I saw another creator on this app post about how she made a post about science and some right-winger was like, "Oh, I know how you vote." With the party that believes in science. Yeah. Or like, what are you, a feminist? Yeah, bud. Yeah. That's a good thing. I'm not transgender, but I definitely believe in equality for women. Or the other day someone was like, I bet you're woke. Are you woke? I had to Google the word because I thought maybe I wasn't understanding it correctly. Aware of and actively attentive to important societal facts and issues, especially issues of racial and social justice. I mean, yeah, I'm certainly trying to be. Why is that an insult? What do you care about education and human rights? Yeah, but that's why I don't vote Republican. That's the point.
I thought this for so long when people was like, you woke, and I kept thinking to myself, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
really bad. They're bad at comedy and they're bad at insults.
Insulting to me. Yeah, I am woke. You know the opposite of woke, if we was actually using not that definition that they have now, but what we grew up with. The opposite of woke is, thank you, Anna, you're asleep.
They are asleep.
Why is that assault? That's not insulting. I'm sorry. What is your point? You can't sit there and go woke and you a bunch of sheep when you thinking, am I?
You know why those things work is because the two sides they don't argue the same way. So the right, or conservatives, they argue off of pure emotion. So playground logic wins, right? They keep it simple, keep it to the point. Whatever you say, we're going to warp it, twist it, and throw it back at you. Kind of like being on a school bus when you used to go back and forth and stuff. But then on the other side, you have the liberals, and they think that they can argue like with egghead logic, right? They want to put together cogent arguments and well, this is this fact and this is this fact, like me, right? This is this fact and this that doesn't make sense. Let me help you make sense of this thing, and that's not effective either. So they need to learn how to be more intelligent in their arguments, and we need to learn how to be more emotional intelligence. We need to use more emotional intelligence in how we communicate, because their comedy is horrible. Like every time I've ever heard their comedy, it's really bad, and their insults suck. It's just bad.
It isn't. And I agree with you, Theus, but I just want to dive a little deeper. Is the comedy so bad because it is not like something we've never heard before? You just put it in a different frame, or you say in a different way, or whatever. Because it's like,
I think it's bad because it's usually so juvenile. That's why I think it's bad.
Yeah. They used to say a social justice warrior. For that and with woke, I say thank you when called that. Then I ask if they don't give a shit about anyone but themselves.
I say thank you, but not the second part.
They don't want to be woke except when it comes to QAnon. One of their main things they believe in, I think, is called the Great Awakening that we've been waiting for since God knows when. So, okay, fine. I think I have got to that point. It took me longer than Theus and probably the rest of y'all. I pick and choose my arguments now, because if I read your statement and I go, that's the most juvenile, disgusting, crazy thing that I've ever heard anybody says that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, I'm not going to get into it with you. Just like we had that comment that I said that I read like 2 weeks ago or whatever. So or last week. I apologize when I told everybody that I comment on everybody's I respond to everybody's comment. I didn't respond to that dude's comment, but I did, didn't I? I did respond to that guy.
The Aaron guy?
Yeah. I did respond to that guy's comment because it's like, dude, you whatever that's coming out of your mouth right now doesn't make sense. and everybody's going to see this. So I want to make sure that you understand that this ain't going to be no pop in, say some crap and pop out. This ain't that. This ain't that channel. You may want to go somewhere who's just started off or something like that, because you're just throwing big words together and hope that you're going to mess up somebody's brain cells and they can't respond back. But everybody else, I read your comment and then I go, is it worth even me getting into it when I know A, I'm pretty sure somebody's already given you the answer to this bull crap, or B, even if I was to say this is bull crap, give you facts that is bull crap, are you even going to listen? Or C, even if you listen, you're going to pretend that you didn't hear what I said and you're just going to continue on to some other form and say the exact same thing. If it's even one of those three things, no, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just not. I never understood people who gets a rise out of irking people. I don't get that. I don't get the understanding of you pissing people off.
I get sucked into it sometimes, and then I get sucked into it, and it's usually my big old egghead self, because I'll start responding, and I didn't wrote a damn paragraph, you know, because I am that person on the left who can't communicate in little short quips. I've just not my talent.
But it's not my
I
thing
wish
though.
it was, but
I mean, it is literally just not my thing to sit there and go, to me, and I'm just speaking for myself, I feel like they have won. Even when I have proven that whatever the crap that's coming out of their mouth is a bunch of crap, so to speak, they won because all they really want to do is get people pissed off. And I responded by and it's like, I'm not gonna do this. I got better things to do. Like my cousin used to tell me, if I don't do nothing but go outside and jump up and down in the rain, it's better than arguing with you. It just
So you
is.
answer all comments within reason, I think is what.
Yeah. I just and it may come with age too. I'm getting older, so I don't feel like arguing with stupidity.
and you're better at conveying your thoughts without like rambling on. Like you'll put together a quick paragraph that might be maybe 2 or 3 sentences long, get your point solidly across, and move the hell on.
Concise. Yeah.
When you're being so ridiculously childish, I enjoy engaging with them. I laugh at them, tell them to go cry to their mother, and say that I love having a battle of wits with an unarmed opponent. And I want to make sure that y'all absolutely understand that this is coming from a woman who's been more in Facebook jail than she has been out of Facebook jail. So please take that into account. Just saying. I don't respond with anger. I laugh at them. Again, been more in Facebook jail than she's been out. Anyway, let's move on to more serious things. And yeah, no, I'm not. The rest of the stuff is just funny and true, but funny.
Guys, this is a surefire way to make your wife laugh every time. First, take her by the hand, look her in the eyes, and tell her, I am the man of this house and you will do as I say. Works every time.
My wife would still be laughing.
I'm married to Foxy. Do I need to go any further?
Tracy's husband would be, you know, letting folks know the visiting hours at the hospital are between.
Long as y'all know. And that's if I say you can come.
Oh, no. Ain't nobody tell you to be in my city. Hey, my last time in jail was for posting a quote from a government agency about a stat and posted a link to the agency. They jailed me for hate speech. I believe you. But
Yeah, it's time to let Facebook go. I mean, nobody's really there anymore. But I don't have nowhere else to go. I don't want to do
I
Instagram. I'm not interested in sharing pictures, and I'm not into Snapchat if that's even relevant anymore. And the TikTok thing, it's just
You
no.
gotta be too creative
let's
for
just be
TikTok.
honest.
I'm like, I don't got time for it.
I was into TikTok because I used to watch live TV shows. Now I'm down to, hey, I need to put some content on my YouTube. Facebook, the most excitement I done got out of Facebook as of lately is looking at the history. And I'm not even lying. I can't remember one time that people say I strolled through Facebook and get lost. I can't remember the last time I did this. Twitter, yeah, you could miss me. I've never got into absolutely anything. Y'all kill me with that whole Twitter war and the rabbit hole and everything. It's Twitter, dude. I'm not gonna waste my time trying to keep up with that.
Yeah, I've
I,
never had a Twitter account.
I got a Twitter
I
account.
have
You
a
know what I
Twitter
do with my
account.
Twitter account? Post these videos, and I'm off
But I mean,
Twitter.
I have a Twitch account and I have a Discord account. I don't know how to use either one of them, so they just there. I don't
I
even know if
use
I could log in if I wanted to.
I got a Twitch account to broadcast on. I got a Twitter account to post these videos. Very rarely, and I mean every other president, rarely do I even read anything from Twitter. Damn near next to
But now
nothing that I
Twitter's
actually go
just a
on Twitch and watch anything.
Twitter's a like a desolate, scary place now, from what I've been hearing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it's done got worse. AITAH, is it up to 53% now that 53, maybe 60% that is more hate speech on Twitter since Musk took over? I want to say
It,
6.
it went it went up a lot. I'm not sure the exact number.
It's either 53 or 60, and trust me, my math, I think it's maybe between 53 and 60. I'm only on TikTok for the funny animal videos. Most of my engagement on Facebook is with my left friends. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you will rarely see me on my platform, and it's not open because again, I don't feel like arguing with people who see my videos. It's my videos. You don't like it, suck it up, Buttercup. It ain't yours. I doubt I'll go to Twitter more than once every few months. Too many brainwashed cultists there. Yeah. How we got that off of that, but okay. All right, folks. 2 more videos. The next video. Yeah, I know I said 3, but this last one is so doggone short, but it was funny. I couldn't leave it out.
What, you're expecting the ball to hit me? No, this isn't one of those videos. Keep scrolling. And you're still there, waiting for the ball to hit me like you waited for your ex to change, but still nothing. Come on, go do something with your life. You're always complaining that you're broke, that you have no energy. Get up! These people these days. Come on, I'm sure there's a better video waiting for you after this one.
Why do I feel like her accent was being forced?
That's
I
what.
got it.
Well, I feel like I felt a fake accent too.
But why I sat there and kept thinking,
But
okay,
it's
is the
about gonna
ball
hit
really
her.
going to come in at the
Is the
last
ball
second?
really gonna hit her? Is it
Yeah,
gonna
is
hit
the
her or not
ball
hit
really going
her?
to
Is
come
it
in at
gonna
the
hit her?
last second? Now, here's the funny thing about it, though. Why are we disappointed that a ball didn't hit a woman in the head?
Because we're sick.
I'm not disappointed. I'm not
I'm
disappointed at
not.
all.
I'm
Mm-mm.
not disappointed, but the way she kept talking, I'm like, okay, it's coming. Here it comes. Here it. Oh, it's not really coming. Okay.
Did you hear the story about Elon Musk having some sort of emergency meeting with his staff in the middle of the night because he was mad his tweet wasn't getting enough attention?
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Guess I'll be fired that day.
Pay attention to me, darn it. I'm
No,
rich. I'm important.
you're rich. That's all I'm giving you. Last video of the night. I need y'all to pay attention to this video because it's scientific evidence that about climate change, and we need to really pay attention and be vigilant in what we're doing from this point on.
Watch. Okay, what's happening on top of that mountain is known as an anime fight scene. If you ever see this in person, get yourself to safety and remember, this can go on for multiple episodes.
Okay, I must have missed something.
If you've ever tried to watch Dragon Ball Z, my goodness, you watch 4 episodes to get through one fight scene. It's just
I'll play it
terrible.
again. I need y'all to pay attention to the volcano.
Okay.
Watch. Okay, what's happening on top of that mountain is known as an anime fight scene. If you ever see this in person, get yourself to safety and remember, this can go on for multiple episodes.
Maybe because I don't watch anime, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I'm not getting whatever I'm missing.
It's pretty much what he said.
Oh.
Two people fight. Just put it to you this way, Tracy. 2 people are fighting. Okay? They're fighting to the death or they're fighting for one loot. That could go on 6 episodes. 6
So it's like wrestling.
No, 6 completely different
No. It's like a soap opera. That's all it is. It's an animated soap opera.
So it's wrestling.
If you watch it on Monday and then you watch it on maybe Friday, you've gotten the entire week's story. Wrestling is also a soap opera. It's soap opera for men, and women watch it too. But generally, it's a men dominated sport, and it's a soap opera. It's got bad acting, plot twists.
The referee turns his back, and then the guy gets hit with a cheap shot.
They're doing the exact same plays and skits that they've done for decades at this point now. It's young and the restless for sports enthusiasts.
Look up on YouTube Gohan versus Perfect Cell Fight. It's about a 5-hour video, which is a combination of the.
No, I ain't gonna be looking that one up.
Nah, bro.
That's too much. That's just too much.
5 hours of anything. And I'm serious about that. There's not 5 hours of anything that I'm watching.
Well, I watched the People's March. That was 8 hours.
The what?
The People's March.
I ain't watching nothing on 8 hours.
I'm not watching anything for 5 hours.
I don't know what made me watch it in 8 hours.
I watched a couple movies and some TV shows, but I'm not even going to be paying close attention for all them hours.
I stay away from most violent scenes, no matter where. Funny and adorable animal vids are my main interest. People vids don't do it for. The only thing that I actually stay away from is the violence of people. Pranks, because some of the pranks that was going on. I mean, it's gotten a lot better, probably because of the platforms shutting them down. But the pranks that was hurting people or even remotely hurting people, I never thought was funny. For some reason, and I don't know what it is on what's going on. Maybe it's the algorithm on Instagram. Car accidents. And it's minor car accidents. I mean, it's not like, devastating cars flipping over, but it's minor car accidents where car is just off the rim and crashing into another car. And I'm thinking, why do you think I want to watch this? There is nothing about this that's entertaining to me.
Yeah, I don't. For me, it's well, those just don't interest me. But I can't watch or I purposely stay away from anything that I know has to do with domestic violence
No.
or like a child suffering. Like, well, not even necessarily a child suffering, just domestic violence or those misery movies, right? The movies where it's just bad all the way through. Is I can't watch those.
Like Facebook had a while where even to this, I called it then. I'm calling it now to this day. Pissing your child off as a little kid is not and will not be funny. It's just not. Telling your child that you're going to take them to Disney World and then tell them, ha ha, I'm not, and watching them cry, please explain to me where's the humor in that. It is not funny to traumatize your freaking child
even
and
I wouldn't do
and
that.
to teach them how to not trust you for your likes and clicks. It's not.
I ain't never seen no mess like that, man. I
That's
don't know nothing about
Seen
that one.
horrible.
plenty of them. I've seen a video of a woman who sat there and told her son because she was so stupid. She posted the video. She posted the time mark, the wrong time of our dog died and my son is so distraught, but I'm trying to hold off. And she posted the time mark at the wrong part where beforehand she was telling her son, okay, I know we've never had a dog, but I want you to be sad and everything. And I'm going to act sad too. And we're going to pretend that your dog died. And I'm like, lady, what the hell is wrong with you? You have way too much time on your hands for this crap.
Yeah, that's a
No
lot
worse than the
right there.
parents that discipline their kids on Facebook. Those are the garbage people.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
I don't like those either. That's an individual thing, an individual home, and everything else. That's your business. Nobody else needs to know that.
Or the parents that give their sons the George Jefferson haircut.
Well, I didn't watch this video, but I didn't immediately have an objection to it. Where the one where the woman shaved her daughter's hair because she was making fun of a cancer patient, a girl in her school who had cancer. Now, I don't think it needed to be videoed. I don't see where's the lesson in that for the child. I mean, I don't know, but I'm a little conflicted on that one.
I don't see what that teaches her.
By the way, Marlon, are you still going to do the Saturday and Sunday show? And WrestleMania is going on in about a month. I kind of wish they did separate into 2 nights, but I am excited. No, I'm not doing Saturday Night Vibes or Radical Truth to Power the WrestleMania weekend.
Why not?
Because I'm going to be sitting there watching WrestleMania.
I was just watching today. I watched the WWE Hall of Fame movie series thing. So I saw the one about Triple H, not Triple H, D-Generation X, and the one about Jake the Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't turn them off for some reason.
Don't ever watch those things ever again.
Why?
Because they'll put you in the Hall of Fame simply because they like you, and also it's simply because it depends your the WWE determination of who they put in the Hall of Fame is depending on what city they in.
Well, I don't care about all that. I'm talking about their personal story. I could care less about that. That's like me. I mean, I don't care. All of them go in the Hall of Fame for all I care. Who's the best actor? I don't care. But I was just saying, as far as like their they talk about their personal stories.
Yeah, we already knew.
You already know because you were obsessed with it. I don't know.
The funny thing about it is, at a certain point when I was watching wrestling, the backstage entertainment, well, not entertainment, the backstage information was more entertaining than what they was putting on television. it was absolutely hilarious. The people who didn't like each other, who was getting into fights backstage, who was cussing out the balls and everything. That was more entertaining than what they was putting on TV. Now, granted, this was during the pandemic. I get that. But still, your backstage drama should not be more entertaining than what you putting on TV.
Well, the stuff that I was watching, I guess you can call it entertaining because I couldn't like turn away from it. It was like watching a train wreck, but it was more about, their real life circumstances. Like they're high performing athletes, right? So the injuries that they're dealing with and the lifestyle, the drugs and the women and all of that, and how it tears apart the family, and then some of them have redemption stories and stuff like that. So like that, that's, I could watch that. But like what they did behind scenes, like they used to show you, was that part I didn't care about.
I can tell you what you can do. Make sure Parker, I may be saying the name of
I will never sit through anything in wrestling again, just to let you know.
No. This is a documentary. I just can't remember the dark side of wrestling, where these guys really honestly don't care what they're saying about these wrestlers because they're telling the truth about it. Jake the Snake Roberts was very interesting because when you hear about his daddy, who was a wrestler too, you're literally talking about a monster, a purebred monster. There is certain people that I've said that has no redeeming qualities of it. Jake the Snake Roberts' dad had no redeeming qualities whatsoever. At all. Chris Benoit was a good one. Though that didn't faze me because I kind of knew the majority of the stuff. But Dark Side of the Ring, that's what I meant to say. Dark Side of the Ring. That stuff is really good if you want to find out the behind the scenes of wrestlers.
Or you could just watch the cartoon.
That's cool. No, like I said, the only reason I was watching is because I could care less about their profession. It was about the individuals, because once you start watching it, you can get stuck in. No, but it's about wrestling. Like if I knew it was pretty much about wrestling per se, I ain't got no interest in that. It's not something that interests me.
It's the equivalent of saying you're looking at a documentary of somebody else because I'm not interested in their occupation. It is not about their occupation. It is about their lives while they're doing this occupation.
Hey, Marlon, it's okay that we don't agree.
And y'all know wrestling is fake, right? Y'all do know that.
Okay, so
I'd rather watch General Hospital. I just saying.
People kill me with that wrestling is fake. Yeah. What is your point?
But the way you
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it.
Because you keep saying I'm talking about the wrestling. You're still thinking about.
But that's what brought us kind of to the conversation
about the person's life that is wrestling. It is literally two different things. And you think, oh my God, my father, who is a child molester, just Jake the Snake Roberts' dad, and who was beating the kids at Jake the Roberts' father. Well, that if he's wrestling, that got to be fake too. No. Good God, you can't fake.
That's a weird leap you just made there, Marlon. No one was making that point. No one was making that point.
I said said the life of the wrestler, and you keep saying, but wrestling is fake.
But Marlon, the way
you're going, he said that. I didn't say that.
I was talking to Tracy. I said it because you seem a little attached to this genre, and
I'm about as attached to wrestling as you is to show tunes and plays.
But I know those are because I don't let it seep into my real life.
Yes, you do.
When we insult Stagecoach and all the other horrible things.
There is no musical called Stagecoach.
It doesn't matter.
Riverboat, Steamboat.
do a lyric downplay and how emotional you get about plays and musicals.
Because that's the highest form of entertainment. Hello. A movie is just a play on screen. I don't know why y'all don't realize that.
Anna, for the love of God, please tell everybody where they can find you.
A play is a movie that wasn't worth making.
BoreliaEtc.com.
The thing is,
ComplexSimpleMan.com.
Tracy?
TracyMediaLLC.com, where I have to play the videos that I keep sending to Marlon for Mafia videos a week, but he's not playing them, so I'll just put them on my site. Thank you.
I sent them to you.
Next week, people. Next week. I got the
March 24th. Blue jeans and high heels.
The weekend down into 10 seconds, so I don't get copyrighted. But okay, I'll show the video of two men who everybody knew have been real tough people singing.
You've already shown that one. I'm talking about the new one I sent.
The way around there.
No, I didn't get it. The last thing I got.
Oh, I put that in our group chat. That's right, I put it in our group chat.
I didn't get that one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
I just plugged your show, and I'm just saying, I mean.
You did. Thank you.
You did. Thank you.
I don't know if I put them in the right order, but I know the right word.
No, backwards, but that's fine.
It's high heels and blue jeans?
Yes, sir.
Are you reading the title?
All right, March 24th.
I corrected that error, so thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. I appreciate Anna Hart, Theodore Robinson, and Tracy Carson for coming on the show. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Wrestling is the original Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Show twos are nothing but plays that was bad enough not to be made into movies.